What's going on, Maverick family? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I am MC, and this is the Maverick Conservative. So today, we got a video by the gentleman of, what's his name? Roy Wood Jr. All right, he's a comedian. I think he's the host or a co-host or something of that sort of The Daily Show. I think that was with Trevor Noah. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. But one of them liberal-leaning shows, and you know, he's on there. And right now, he has been invited to, I'm gonna say, roast the president and vice president at the White House Correspondent Dinner. So let's go ahead and get into the video and see if this brother funny or not.
Despite the challenging times we live in, I look around this room and I see people that are hardworking. Many of you, I don't even think you should be working that hard. We should be inspired by the events in France. They rioted when the retirement age went up 2 years to 64. They rioted because they didn't want to work till 64. Meanwhile, in America, we have an 80-year-old man begging us for 4 more years of work.
Hey, I gotta say that's actually pretty funny. The reason why he's begging for 4 more years worth of work because he wasn't really qualified to be there in the first place. Weekend at Bernie's is doing a horrible job.
Begging. Let me finish the job. That's not a campaign slogan. That's a plea. Let me finish. I do wish you the best of luck on the campaign trail.
He don't need no luck. He's not even going to be campaigning. He's going to be hiding out in his basement just like he did the first time. As a matter of fact, I think I saw some reports that the DNC, not the DNC, excuse me, that for his campaign that he's not even going to be doing any primaries. They're just going to sit in the basement and camp out just like he did in the last election. He doesn't really need no luck when that's all you got to do, and that plus ballot harvesting.
Mr. President, you got a lot of things that you're going to have to navigate, a lot of hurdles. We've had quite a few scandals. We know about the documents, we know about the laptops, but there's been no scandal more damaging than the scandal of, is Joe Biden awake? Hey, say what you want about our president, but when he wake up from that nap, work gets done.
No.
He might doze off with an infrastructure bill.
That infrastructure bill was full of pork. Pork and beans is what that infrastructure bill was for. Remember that movie back in the day with Leonardo DiCaprio? What was the name of that movie? What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Franks and beans. That's what that infrastructure bill was full of. Franks and beans. That's it. Just pork and beans inside that infrastructure bill. No, but seriously, that infrastructure bill did have a lot of pork in it, and really what it did, in my humble opinion, is set our children up in the future to have to pay for that hefty burden, full of things that had a lot of which had nothing to do with infrastructure, but was really earmarked with a lot of gimmies towards the Republicans who actually signed off on that garbage bill, and a lot of the Democrats, who signed off on that garbage bill, who was going to get a lot of bread for their campaigns, or the people who were in vulnerable positions during the time of their elections when that infrastructure bill was put into place. Garbage bill should have never been passed.
Student loan forgiveness. Did we free Brittany Griner? Free Brittany Griner.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the video play. I don't want to keep pausing it, but this free and I think we left behind a former Marine who got accused of espionage or something like that. I'm an amateur in all of this political stuff. I just come on here and give my opinion about how I feel, and I back it up with as much facts as I possibly can. So I believe this person's name was Paul Whelan, former Marine that was left behind, so we can get Brittany Griner. Excuse me. I wonder why that was done, right? And this man should be home. Brittany actually broke the law. They held her. Regardless of how you feel about marijuana, that was here in this country. Over there, it's illegal. She got caught with marijuana. You do the crime, you got to do the time.
But I think the most insulting scandal to fall to the feet of the Biden administration was placed at the feet of our Madam Vice President.
Well, here we go.
The scandal of what does Kamala do?
Nothing.
Which is a disrespectful question. That's a disrespectful question because nobody ever asked that question of the vice president until a woman got the job.
Not true.
I'm going to ask. I don't know what Mike Pence did. The only thing I know about Mike Pence is that he's really good at playing hide and seek at the Capitol.
Mike Pence got not Jerome. What's the Surgeon General's name? What is the Surgeon General's name? I can't remember that. I can't remember the brother's name, but he got him hired. Got Alizar hired. He staffed a lot of the federal government positions at the time when he was in. Pushed to get the space program reinstated. Pushed to get Space Force, got some funding for that, and raised a whole lot of cash. What has Kamala done again? Oh yeah, the borders are. She's going to study the root causes. How's that going, by the way?
You got to be crafty to catch Mike Pence in that Capitol, baby. He'd know all the nooks and crannies. Don't put the camera on her on a Mike Pence joke. Don't do that. Don't be sad. They trying to set you up, Madam Vice President. You see what they do? At the end of the day, as a vice president, the only thing you got to do is just be better than Dick Cheney. That's the bar. Just be better than Dick Cheney. They made a documentary about Dick Cheney. Now, I don't know much about the job of vice president, but I do know if they can make a documentary about your time as vice president, you vice presidented incorrectly.
All right, I've had enough. I've seen enough. He goes on to give some some lame jokes about Tucker Carlson and Trump, and listen, if you want to watch the full video, I'm going to have the link down in the description. You can watch the full video, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into these to my final thoughts. Let's just do it that way. Kamala Harris doesn't deserve to be vice president. There's a very specific reason why people keep asking, what exactly does the vice president do? Kamala Harris is supposed to be the border czar. And what has she done? The answer is nothing. Let's tackle the Kamala issue. Kamala Harris doesn't deserve to be the president, just like Weekend at Bernie's. And the reason why is because she was never qualified to be there in the first place. The truth is, Weekend at Bernie's was under a lot of pressure to find a woman to fill the vice president role. And after the George Floyd riots, a black woman. And since there weren't many black women in the Senate or in governor positions, Amy Klobuchar actually stepped down. And who gets tapped? Kamala. Weekend at Bernie's was desperate. How desperate? Let me tell you. Weekend at Bernie's was so desperate that the person he actually picked to be his vice president was the very same person that called him a segregationist, which means he's a racist, on live television. That's how desperate he was to get somebody in the White House to be his running mate that was, one, a woman, and two, a black woman. Let's kill two birds with one stone. That position should have been held by somebody of merit. I understand I disagree with their policies or what have you, but the point is it should have been someone that was deserving of the role, someone who have actually accomplished something within the guidelines or whatever they look for in the Democratic Party, but somebody who was qualified to be there. If Kamala Harris would have got there simply based off of merit and she just so happened to be a black woman, fine, great. But the point is she would have got there off of merit, meaning she was deserving of the position, which she was not. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. Maverick family, I want to hear yours. Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It's the only way to force YouTube's algorithm to push this content to other like-minded individuals. And also, don't forget to tell a friend to tell two friends about the Maverick Conservative.